I gotta play. It's a guy that we both like.
There's one that sold for 61 on April 27th. Damn, free shipping. Hell yeah, man.
It's not the obvious guys that win you your league.
Oh, I'm on the clock. Oh, no, I got auto picked.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, you missed your pick. People start going way off the board here.
That's a steal, baby.
I was clicking the button. This is all messed up now. How do we get so many auto picks? 2, 1.
Nailed it.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Combine Week. We're back on the football card quest doing some football card research. Looking at some plays to make in the hobby tonight. Got my main man, Steve, the eBay Hitman, here with me. I'm your host, as always, Andy. How's it going, Steve? Happy Combine Week, brother.
Yeah, it's just in time for all the rumors to begin flying, and that much closer to the draft. So I'm pretty excited. How about yourself? Hear any fun or interesting rumors this week?
Yeah, other than I think the most interesting thing that I heard today was that PSA purchased SGC, not directly a combine related, but a hobby related. I got to get your reactions, man. PSA purchases SGC grading.
Yeah, the parent company. I couldn't believe it. I posted it in the Discord last night when I saw it. I thought it was maybe a prank. It seemed like too big of a story to be real, but it's real. And I don't know that I like it, but that's really nothing I can really do about it. Hopefully they just maintain the brand and just let them kind of autopilot and collect money. But I have my doubts that that'll happen. So hopefully they do. I guess we'll see. Andy, what are you thinking about that?
I think that's the biggest question mark is are they going to retain the SGC brand, or are they going to fully merge and bring them in and just basically have like a PSA office in, Southeast Florida? I think SGC is out of like somewhere around West Palm Beach type area. So maybe they're looking for another production unit there in South Florida, or they're looking to maintain the SGC brand. Me personally, there's a lot of issues with SGC slabs. They are very easy to pop open, and they could very easily be manipulated. Yes, they do have a strong hold, and they do a good job with vintage cards. When you look at their values in ultra modern, it's about the same as CGC and BGS. When you look at those guys as like, secondary options compared to PSA. So, and with these big companies and acquisitions like that, because I've been through one, it takes a long time. It takes a good 6 months to a year to fully migrate, all the computer systems, everything that they do into PSA. And then from there, they'll figure out what they're going to do with the brand. I got a feeling they're probably going to fully bring them in and just make it another business unit of PSA.
I like the slabs. I like the way they look. I get that it's way too easy to open them, and that leads to potential bad things if people want to be shady. But I hope they don't do anything too crazy. I think that they've been around long enough, and the amount of growth they've seen in the past few years, it'd be a shame to they just kind of got swallowed whole effectively.
So that was the hobby news. In terms of NFL Combine, there's a lot of fun stuff. Like some guys that are really standing out there, rookies. A lot of like edge rushers though, and linemen. I was waiting to get some of the stats back on the quarterbacks. I saw Michael Penix was throwing darts behind the stage there at the Combine. I don't think, Tom Brady ran a faster 40 at 44 than he did at when he was 22. I saw them highlight that. But otherwise, it's been a lot of linemen, edge rushers, linebackers, that kind of stuff today.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys opt not to participate, and I think that's only going to become a more common thing as money becomes more lucrative for contracts, especially with rookies that already make money now. So they know a bit more about making money and how that money can be affected by a bad combine. So I think you see more guys sitting it out. And I think that I've seen a lot of players already saying they're not planning to participate this year.
I thought it was funny that the S2 cognition test, they withdrew that because of what happened with CJ Stroud last year, and he performed so poorly on that test, and yet he went on to be Rookie of the Year. Awesome playoff run, historic rookie season. And his kind of response to that was, I'm not a test taker. I know how to play on the field. I'm not worried about taking a test. I just know how to go out there and play football.
That's a good point, Andy. I like that you mentioned that. A lot of guys, you and I sometimes have different opinion on. Sometimes, they didn't run the certain time, or they didn't do a certain amount of reps on the bench, or they don't have an arm length of this or whatever. But at the end of the day, can you ball on the field or not is the real measurement of how good you're going to be. All those other things are just added bonuses.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, who cares how good you did on tests? That's not going to necessarily drive demand for rookie cards. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be driven by performance, wins, playoff appearances, the storyline. And I guess by the fact that he did so poorly on the cognition test, but yet played so well, adds to his incredible storyline.
Yeah. And, tests aren't a one-size-fits-all either. They're a good barometer, but not a tell-all indicator,
Yeah, they're not as good. So let me say what's up to the guys in the chat real quick before we move on here. Anastasia Lurko, hi, welcome to the stream. Hey, she was early, so good job. First person in the chat. Gabe Davis, on time, Andy. What's up, Gabe? In the house. You know it, brother. Late Stick said it right here. Auto pick start time. Steve was wolfing down pizza slices, and I was just sitting here getting ready.
It was a mad scramble to be on time, but
I was doing some rookie research, man. That's what I was doing. But we got Mr. T, we got Kovu in the house. Mr. T says, why would Collectors Universe want to have two competing grading companies on their same roof? Totally agree. It's one of the reasons why I think they will totally absorb SGC into PSA eventually. Take about a year, I imagine. Zertam 12-12-12. I think Sunday QBs. Yeah, they save the big guys for the weekend when they know they get the most eyeballs. Huh?
I think that they may keep SGC intact, and just based on the way that argument was presented, like an automotive manufacturer makes multiple vehicles, and a soda line makes multiple flavors. You know what I mean? PSA could easily just replace SGC, but there's a lot of people that like those slabs, so maybe they would potentially lose some customers. I don't know that for a fact, but that's up to the company to decide. But I think they should keep it rolling.
Christopher Bell said the kid Fiske from FSU looked good today at the combine. Randy Millmine, welcome to the chat, Randy. Gabe Davis needs to learn to catch. Guy had the most drops on the Bills. Filthy. You guys should take the Wonderlic test live. Wow, man. Can you imagine if we took the one? That would actually be pretty fun. That if you guys want that, if we got enough live likes on this video and super chats, we would definitely do it. Because that sounds like fun. We should do that right, at the draft time or something.
That's funny.
Gabe,
what all goes into that? It'd be probably pretty funny, though.
Yeah. Gabe is I think he's trying to holler at, maybe that was Anastasia. I don't know who. Maybe Gabe is trying to holler at Randy. I don't know.
Whoa.
Got a little chat going here. Late Six said CU has a 92% market share of all grading now. That's big time. That's pretty big. And I'm actually, so we can go ahead and talk about it. I see one of our sponsors here in the chat, Empower Men. What's up, man? Appreciate Brad and Gil from Empower Men helping me stay fit, maintain my energy level late into the wee hours of the East Coast night to live stream with you guys. But back to the Collectors Universe thing real quick before we move on, because I was just at the CGC Cards headquarters on Tuesday with my man Paul Hickey from nooffseason.com. We got to meet with the vice president of grading, Andy Broom. Great guy, great meeting. We got to see backstage on the production floor. We got to see all the people in action grading cards, the entire process from receiving to verification and research to the grading. I got to watch them grade some CJ Stroud and Bryce Young cards. I got to ask them all kinds of questions about trends they're seeing with ultra modern cards, football cards specifically. Of course, that's really what all I was concerned about. And then their entire grading process. And the one thing I didn't realize was that they just started grading sports cards in 2021. You know, they've been backed by the coin and paper grading companies from their collectors guarantee, the numismatics division. They basically have like these 7 different verticals. They've been doing it for a long time, right? Largest comic book, coin and paper grading company in the world. But they just started grading sports cards in 2021, Steve. I think a lot of people didn't realize that. And then they had a name change. They started out as CSG, and they needed to basically recalibrate, kind of do a slow down to speed up. And so I really like, the bottom line is a lot of content coming out around it, Steve, but I really like what they're doing there. I really like their process. I think they're delivering an excellent product that's going to continue to grow. And I think that the acquisition of SGC by PSA is actually good for CGC. I think this is going to elevate CGC in the rankings of the top 4, main grading companies, and they're going to continue to grow in sports cards. They really haven't been grading sports cards for that long, and their holders are fantastic. The customer service is excellent. The product they actually put out, the building that I was at, Steve, all they do is TCG, so that's like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and stuff, and then sports cards. They don't do comic books or anything else at that building. That's like a totally different division, totally different building. It's totally separate. So they keep their verticals separate, so the guys that are grading modern football cards are the same guys doing it over and over and over again. It's almost like they like managing an account for a business. They manage that same account because that's their expertise. So I found it a fascinating, insightful visit, but it really it's motivated me, like inspired me to want to grade with them a lot more, not just because we are sponsored by them, but because I really truly believe in what they're doing, honestly.
Yeah, I had a really good impression when we did the group submission. I think it was, early last season, roughly. The slabs not only looked way nicer than the old ones that people were complaining about, the color scheme and the white and green. And like you said, the texture is obviously not indestructible, but it feels like it could be. It's definitely a lot more sturdy than some of the other slabs are. And you could correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe that the slabs are UV protected, and I know PSAs are not. And what else? But yeah, like you said, the customer service aspect's a big deal. And
yeah, the quality control, and like the checks and balances they have in place are insane. And the level of security, dude, every single station, grading station, verification station, slabbing station has a high-tech video surveillance camera directly overhead of it. I mean, everything is tracked from head to tail there in that building, and they have like an incredible system of checks and balances. So it's really neat. So yeah, check it out. That's all. We'll move on now. I know everybody wants to. I want to get into a draft tonight. I want to talk about some of these free agency rumors, Steve. So the latest one that I saw today that I found very interesting. The Jets. The Jets have been on my mind a lot lately. And then we talked about Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson being undervalued in the past. I've obviously seen their prices going up a little bit as we're progressing here through the offseason. But Aaron Rodgers obviously going to come back. They're going to be focusing on the offensive line and trying to protect him this offseason. Excuse me, but they gave Zach Wilson permission to seek a trade. And, I want to get your reaction on that, Steve. Do you think that he could become a starter somewhere? And do you think makes sense? I pulled up his cards earlier. I mean, they're super cheap. Like, his cards are insanely cheap pretty much across the board for Zach Wilson. He spiked week 1 when Rodgers went down. He's got the first-round draft capital from 2021. He's part of that Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields class. And, Trey Lance. Can't forget about Trey Lance. And so now he's kind of in a similar situation as Trey Lance. Like, do you deserve a starting job somewhere?
I don't think anyone out of the box is just going to hand him the starting job. He may get like a QB competition type scenario if there's a team that's not locked in, perhaps. I just don't see him quite yet as a starter. I do think that, again, here's what we talk about when, keep in mind, the draft's coming up. We talk about, like, he's got the arm, he's got the this, he's got the that, you know what I mean? And he's this good in college. But this is a reminder, Andy. Trey Lance is a reminder. Zach Wilson, roughly the entire 2021 QB class is a reminder. Not every hyped up prospect is an elite NFL quarterback or even a good one. So I don't know that this guy will ever become one, but he's definitely in a position to. He's young enough to potentially put himself on a path to maybe a starting job somewhere.
And he took a step forward last year in terms of his efficiency. He had his highest completion percentage of his career, up to 60%. So if you look at like kind of where that stacks up, it's still not incredible compared to the rest of the league. His true completion percentage still ranked number 32 overall. And that was just so the true completion factors out throwaways and drop passes. So he's still at number 32 there, but that was a career best for him. So he's still ranked 30th overall in quarterback rating, 19th overall in like accuracy, 18th overall in red zone. That was his best ranking efficiency metric. And so, he's
He did look good in spurts, honestly.
Yeah.
He did look good in spurts, but you have to put it together for a whole game. And you have to put it together for a couple games and then a half a season and then a season. And no one's perfect week in, week out. But I think we saw enough, which means that some other person who makes decisions for a franchise saw something and he'll end up on a team, potentially in a position to battle for a job. I don't think he's going to end up just getting a team handed to him at this point.
And it just takes a lot whenever you've already had the opportunity to start in the NFL as a quarterback and you don't make the most of it and you don't look great. Going back to before Rodgers signing with the Jets. And once that happens, it just takes so much more for your cards to really become demanded and hyped up again for people to want to buy them. So this might be one of those situations where, yeah, he gets a backup role somewhere, but I don't think that news is going to cause any type of demand or hype spike for his rookie card. I mean, we're talking rookie ticket autos that are really cheap, as you can see here in this auction that's ending tomorrow morning at 8:20 a.m. for a rookie ticket auto for a first-round quarterback from a couple years ago. I mean, that Trevor Lawrence, that's still close to $1,000 card. That's still a $500-$600 card. Justin Fields is still $150 to $200 card here. But when we talk about Trey Lance and Zach Wilson, those cards have just
$20.
Yeah, $20, man, $20.
Yeah, it's getting a backup job obviously is not the needle mover, but getting named a starting candidate in camp is, because there's at least people that will buy on the speculation he starts. And then maybe he does win the job. Who knows? Maybe he has a good camp and wins a job. But there's definitely worse things you can do with $20 than take a little dice roll.
So next up, Steve, the Vikings have released Alexander Mattison. Raise your hand if you were drafting Alexander Mattison last year in the classic running back dead zone. I personally had a little bit of Alexander Mattison, but I did not draft him in any of my dynasty or seasonal leagues. In fact, I was telling people to sell Alexander Mattison heading into the season because I did not believe in him. I was a Ty Chandler guy. I'm still a Ty Chandler guy. Ty Chandler wins in this. Gabe, don't even. Gabe is lying through his teeth right now. He's an Alexander Mattison truther.
There's a lot of veteran, high-quality running backs available and pretty decent depth at the position in the draft. So where these guys could end up, who knows? But Madison was definitely underwhelming, and maybe the fans were a little unfair to him early in the season with a couple of those fumbles, but obviously didn't make the most of his opportunity, and that's what happens, man. That's the running back life.
Yeah, he you mentioned his fumbles and the drop passes. He had like crazy amount of dropped passes last year, and he had those. I don't know if you remember. It was the Thursday night opening game, and he had, I think, 2 or 3 fumbles in that one game. They gave him the starting job for quite a while, man. He had a long leash, believe it or not. But he got in his own head or something. I don't think it's a situation where he was like a satellite back for Dalvin Cook, and he really wasn't that good given a large sample size and fell apart. I really think he just choked.
Yeah, and he, people were speculating on him based on the few games that he did fill in for Dalvin Cook previously, which is fine because he did play well. But I think it's like you said, there's a misunderstood part of the game, which is the psychological portion. And once bad things start to happen, some players shake it off and they're fine, and some don't. And I have a feeling that that's just not something he was able to overcome.
Well, as you can see, there's a ton of Ty Chandler buy it now, sold volume going down today. And I saw this question in our Discord server. I believe it was a member by the name of War Eagle that asked this, and he's basically asking, why do players' rookie cards go up just based on the news of them signing with a new team? He asked, specifically around Saquon Barkley, like if he were to go to a new team, and I don't know if you've seen the latest rumors, but Saquon Barkley is like eyeing the Texans. He likes their swag. He likes that Bobby Slowick offense with CJ Stroud and Tank Dell and Nico Collins. He wants to get in on that Texans action.
I hope so, Andy, because if you recall, I said that pre-Super Bowl, I believe that I thought he was going there. So I do think he's going there. I think that the Jets want to keep him, but he's a good fit for that team, and that team needs a guy like him. They're already good without him. You could imagine how good they'd be with him. So I agree.
Yeah. So I want to get your reaction or your take to that question of why a player's value increases when they're traded or when they're signed by a new team.
Well, it puts them at the top of the news feed, which is one. Anytime there's any news on a guy, preferably positive news, obviously, it brings more eyes to the listings, and you talk about it with your friends at work or your hobby buddies, and next thing you know, you're browsing eBay and you're like, oh, there's a card. Oh, there's a card. And you find yourself buying them. But I think the other half of that is new fans. He signs with a new team. Now he's got new people buying his cards that would not have bought them before. So you have, let's say, Houston fans, Texas fans. You know, if he signs there, you have a whole new demographic of players that weren't buying his cards before that now are, which is a massive spike numerically.
So then his second part of his question is because of the Giants uniform, you know, and he asked, do fans of the team he goes to really want to buy rookies, kabooms, downtowns, etc. of him in a Giants uniform, Steve?
Yes and no. I mean, I can speak from personal experience. Let's just use DJ Moore as an example. There's not a lot of cool cards compared to his amount of rookie cards of him in a Bears uniform. But if you look at his Prism Silver Auto in a Bears uniform, I mean, for a veteran player, they go for more than his rookie ticket autos do, Andy, in a Bears uniform from this year. So there's something to be said about that. But there's still people that are true hobbyists that want a player's rookie regardless of the uniform he's in. But at the same time, there's people that just don't want to see it. They want that player in their uniform. But, you know, right when the news breaks, that's not something that it will exist for a year, maybe longer.
That's it. It's not something that exists when the news breaks, and the go-to card for any player is the rookie card. You know, it captures and encapsulates that initial year when you know, anything could happen in their career, and they got the baby face and everything. So it's just, the rookie card has always been the first go-to card. But if you look at guys like Christian McCaffrey or Devontae Adams and stuff, there's a ton of demand for the cards of them on their new team, especially the serial numbered ones. If there's autograph ones, if there's case hits of them on the new team, those are going to 100% be desirable. They're going to get a ton of bids in auctions, and a lot of people are going to go after them. But, you know, the main like entry level market and intermediate market and even some of the high end market is still going to be focused on the rookie card, just because it's that rookie year.
Another example of maybe a higher end player. Let's just say Tom Brady. Tom Brady goes to Tampa. How many people you think can go out and buy a Tom Brady rookie card? You know, so that's a unique scenario where most people aren't in that dollar budget to be going and buy that guy's card. So they may have had to wait till newer cards of his came out, or buy other high-end cards of his, like serial numbered cards, or maybe a patch card or something like that. I mean, his auto stuff, rookie or not, is absolutely ridiculously priced. He doesn't sign many things. So you might have been in a situation yourself, Andy, where you're having to wait for Donruss to come out, or Optic to come out, or Prism to come out, because those were going to be the first Tampa cards.
Yeah, I did wait, and I bought a Prism Red Cracked Ice for like $30, like in December, before we went on the playoff and Super Bowl run. Ended up selling that card unintentionally. I had it listed at $200.
I remember.
Thought nobody would ever buy it from me at that price. And sure enough, like, I woke up and it's sold, and I cried a little bit and had to mail it out. But you know, I learned a good lesson. You know, it's you know, just goes to show you what people go after if it's available, and if that player is performing well and winning games on that team.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? There's still a bit of hype, even sometimes after a player goes to a new team, even for maybe beyond the first year. Like, I still am seeing a lot of activity on DJ Moore. I've always been a DJ Moore guy, and I've been buying his rookie ticket autos and other autos from his rookie year for not just this year, but before he was a Bear. And I'm seeing the prices still elevated from where they were before he joined the team. So if you sign from a smaller market to a major market team, the ripple effect tends to last quite a bit longer.
Do you think the NFLPA survey plays a role in anything that really goes on in the hobby?
The one about the team facilities and all that. The one that
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I didn't get a chance to look at it. I saw that the Chiefs were the ranked last, ironically, on that list. So I don't really know a lot about it, so I can't say for sure. But I think, as far as the hobby goes, I don't really think that affects anything. Maybe from a just a team fan perspective, critic, whatever. Maybe I don't think if the showers aren't that clean in the KC facility, I don't think that stops anybody from buying a Mahomes rookie or a Kelsey rookie or any of those other guys.
No, but it does indicate the Chiefs were 31st on this, and it does indicate that the players were not happy with what the team promised them. They gave them an F for ownership. Like apparently, not many at least of the players like the ownership of the Chiefs.
Well,
and it's pretty crazy with how many rings and trophies they've got over the past few years.
That's yeah, I guess. Well, I guess you kind of have to pick and choose your battles, I suppose.
And Commanders were 32. The Dolphins were number 1, believe it or not. Dolphins, Vikings, Packers, Eagles, and the Jags are the top 5.
Can't remember. I saw some content creator that went to the Dolphins facility, and they were basically treated like the guest of honor. Like I guess that anyone that goes there is just like it's supposed to be a really well run facility. So that one doesn't surprise me, but the Chiefs one definitely surprises me.
Yeah,
kind of grimy, man. Kind of grimy. They all that extra revenue from winning all these championships, they can't take care of their people. I don't know, man.
Do you think anybody's buying former Chiefs wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling after 2 seasons with the Chiefs and 2 Super Bowl victories? That he is headed to free agency now to mingle with the some of these other guys like Calvin Ridley and Michael Pittman Jr. is likely to stay with the team.
I just don't see a market. I think that he might end up having to settle for coming back on a reduced asking price. You know, he has a clear-cut role on that team, even if it's a minuscule one, and he's already familiar with the playbook. Maybe there's a coordinator out there who looks at him as this prized possession. I don't see it, but from what I've read, it doesn't look like they actually even want to resign him. So I guess we'll see.
Was he he was a 2018 rookie, right? Yeah. It was a 20
Was it 18 or 17?
Yeah, I believe it's 28. I believe it's 2018. Yeah, because that's 2018 Prism Disco right there. Sold 9 days ago for $375, or Spectra out of 50 for 19. Oh, speaking of Spectra, the 2023 set of Spectra is being released. Is being released. I think it's next Friday, Steve. Yeah,
now you're speaking my language, Andy. You know that's my set.
They're basically releasing one set every Friday for the rest of the summer.
Every Friday.
Pretty much, yeah. If you look at the release schedule, and you look at football, well, hold on. And you look at football. So the Gold Rush helmet, yeah. There's the Spectra Hobby Box. So it's March 8th. That is next Friday. Right. Yeah, next Friday. Hobby Box, man. Their Hobby Boxes, I feel like, have gone up.
If you remember, during the Dutch auctions last year, the Spectra ended up going for more than Prism. And I don't remember what Prism's was this year, but I think that Spectra is now eclipsed, at least as far as cost goes. And look at the amount of cards per pack, Andy. Gross. I mean, that definitely keeps things in the upper echelon if you're getting, what did it say, 4 cards per pack?
Let's see. Let's look at go back to the sell sheet here. All right, 4 cards per pack. You're getting 16 total cards.
4.
But you're getting 4 autographs, 4 mem cards, which I think are totally devalued in today's standards unless they actually put some game-worn stuff in there.
Right.
7 base cards or parallels. 7? They need to reduce that when you're paying this much. And 1 insert or insert parallel. Yeah, it's not worth that much. No way. No way that 75-80% of these boxes are not going to pay off. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm hyped up. I don't have that kind of capital to go buy a box. I wouldn't have that kind of capital to buy into a break. What would you get? Like one base card maybe for your investment? Like, it's just not
you
worth
probably want to buy into a case break, and it's just not going to be worth the bang for your buck. You know, like you could buy into a Prism case, hobby box case break, like Ziggy showed us. I mean, you can really do well on those. What about Illusions? They're actually almost sold out. The pre-sale, it's over half as cheap. You get 5 cards per pack, $10. So now we're talking 50 cards for $450. But Illusions is another one of those that, dude, I look at Illusions, to me, it's like around that same rank as like limited or certified or gold standard. It's just, I would put it in like somewhere in the 20s. You know, there's probably out of the entire year, there's probably around 60 total sets. I'd probably about middle of the pack, you know, somewhere around 30. What do you think, Steve?
I do like these, but they're not the same card quality. They're nice to look at, but they're not real nice to look at. So yeah, they are kind of middle of the pack. I'm definitely not hating on the product, but I guess that's why you're paying $450 instead of $1,200, right? They are nice, but in my experience, they don't hold the same kind of value. I mean, I've picked up like in the last month, Brees Hall, Amon Ra, Sauce Gardner, like serial numbered out of like $299 or $199 for like under $5. You know, if you go to Prism or you go to Spectra or you go to, and you look at the same card, you're talking, you know, 20, 30, you know, higher depending on which parallel it is. So it's definitely not quite the same tier, but still cool, and definitely has it makes for good single buying potential because there's much fewer eyes on this product than there is on the others.
Hollow Heroes Gold. So these are like their case hits right here. I'm just not seeing anything that I see typically go for a decent amount of money. You know, like if I were to look up, I think one thing to do when you guys are thinking about buying these sets is go look up 2022 Illusions, and you can just search look up well, Brock Purdy may not even be in the set, but just type in Hollow Heroes and look at the sold items that you find for those. You can even search by the highest valued ones. Like how much are the most expensive ones selling for? The 1 of 1 for Patrick Mahomes, it's sold for $500. You know, that's the price. That's the price of that box.
No way.
It's
damn.
Yeah, that seller gave a nice discount there. Wow. Sometimes
man.
it pays, man, to lowball offers. So
I will say this. Good job, whoever got that down, because let's be honest, you could probably turn around, list that for $1,000 and have interest in it. So
$285 on the gold PSA 9, and these were like Super Bowl playoff time.
Right.
So you're hoping to pull a quarterback naturally to get the
money in
highest
these
dollar value.
Just like all other case hits, is going to be the rookies, though. If I'm assuming they're making them, they made them in 21 of the rookies. So I do believe they would have rookies of this class. Oh, there they are. Okay. But I mean, Dotson's not currently the needle mover. Although Jameson Williams, Andy, I know you were surprised for me to say I think he takes a big leap next year, but I do. And actually, the coaching staff now saying they believe he'll be a starting receiver, maybe in place of Josh Reynolds.
Oh, yeah, I think there's actually some interesting promise and upside there for Jameson Williams. I don't think he's quite as bad as Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but
no,
He he's
Their
not
their
too
career
far off.
trajectories are actually going the opposite of each other.
One
One's going
one
up, one's going down.
a couple bad drops in next year's playoffs, and he's the next MVS. What is up, Power Hour NFL? Have you seen this? So you guys have got to go subscribe. Power Hour NFL. Shout out to Carter the Power. He is full of power, man. He's powering it up over there. He's doing these NFL film studies on this channel. They're fantastic, man. Fantastic. You got to go check him out. He's only got like 10 videos on this channel. They get like 35 to 50,000 views. That's how good his film studies are. He's close to 1K subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet to Power Hour NFL, go and do it after
help
this
the
live
man out.
stream.
Go
Yeah,
go or sub, because that hard work that he put in deserves monetization. Help him get to 1K so we can let him flourish over there.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, I think that if you're buying a box of illusions for $450, your chances of pulling one of these Hollow Heroes are already small. Pulling a Hollow Heroes Gold or out of one or the King of Cards is probably not even as popular as the Hollow Heroes. Your odds of getting these cards are so low, so your chances of this box paying off for itself is very low. It's very low because most of the cards in there are going to be worth $1 or less.
So here's the thing: the reason that Prism, Optic, Spectra, let's just use those three to name a few. You could even say like National Treasure, stuff like that. But there's a reason why you can ask so much more for a box, and it's not the case hits, and it's not just the name brand or anything else. But one simple reason: the base cards have value, right? The base cards have value. You can slab up a base Prism and people want that. You can slab up a base or even a high serial number of any of those sets and people are going to go out of their way to find that. But you don't see like a base Illusions PSA 10. It's not a huge get. People aren't going out of their way to get it. It's a more mass-produced product, and at this point, it's not in the crosshairs as far as like a de facto go-to card for a guy like Optic would be, like Prism would be, and if I had it my way, if Spectra would be too, because I love the look of that set. All the cards and especially the RPAs are just amazing.
But Illusions and probably a base Zenith and stuff like that. I mean, you guys gonna have to be, reaching that stratosphere. Even CJ Stroud is gonna struggle on the base cards from these sets in a 10 condition. A 10 condition is not gonna necessarily save base cards from Illusions and Zenith. It's gonna have to be Prism, like you said, Optic, that rated rookie logo, something that's iconic that people know, they get it. It's and the reason why we see so many, I get this a lot, why are there then so many Mosaic graded cards? And that's because Mosaic is released at the beginning of the rookie season, and people want to grade them and flip them on the rookies as they progress through the season. And so they release Mosaic in September, and that's really the main set that people have to play with all season long, outside of like Score and some of the legacy cards that we looked at, some of those collegiate chronicles and the select and Prism draft picks, the other college cards that have larger checklists and stuff. Mosaic's really it, and they print based on draft capital. They get the first 5 rounds or so in there, depending on the team they go to and the position they play. And that's why you'll see a ton of Mosaic cards graded, and that'll continue to be circulated because now they're out there, out there in the wild. And people see, they get to find a lot of data on them. They will be bought and sold, but for a lot less than the Prism.
Well, going back to 2020, you could probably recall I had a big flag plant on Mosaic. I like that Mosaic. It's like in a perfect spot. It's not middle of the pack. It's not top of the pack, but it's kind of somewhere in between. I mean, the autographs are beautiful, right? The inserts are desirable. The base cards are nice. the parallels are very nice. There's a lot to like about that set, and price wise, it's not too brutal,
It's
right?
blingy.
So it has a perfect spot in the hobby, and not to mention, I mean the parallels just look good. They look good. 2020 orange fluorescent Burrow, man. So a dream card of mine.
Obsidians at the end of March. It's 7 cards, 1 pack, $600. It's got your typical Obsidian. I didn't see the base cards in. Oh, there they are. The base electric etch.
Ooh, white contras, man. Those go for a lot of money. That there's a big following for those.
There's definitely a following for Obsidian cards. I mean, they definitely have their place. They're very much like a Celtic or Egyptian type of hieroglyphic design around the card. They're very thick chrome cardstock, like optic. If you ever had an Obsidian in your hand, you will appreciate its quality. So I think out of these between like Zenith and Obsidian, it's definitely Obsidian. I've got them ranked much higher than Zenith and Illusions.
Yeah, when you're getting a single pack for $600, you are effectively gambling that you get a rookie quarterback autograph and you sell it right away. That's pretty much your only hope of making money on that.
And see, then a week later, you've got Immaculate, April 3rd, $1,500 for 6 cards.
There's got to be some reasoning behind this, with the lawsuit or whatever, that they just got to pump everything out by a certain date. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the blue screen here, but there we go.
Ooh,
you may be right, and watch out for this. So the CGC, I talked to their head grader, Andy Broom. He confirmed that the signature issue with Anthony Richardson, that signature there from Anthony Richardson is an auto pen. What happened? The same thing happened with Dak Prescott. A lot of you may be familiar with the auto pen issue with Dak Prescott. So what happens is these players are required to, or they're asked to contractually sign a ton of stuff. And then they sign all these cards, and then they get another book of stickers in the mail, and they got to sign all these stickers. And so you can imagine how Anthony Richardson was absolutely inundated from Panini with all the signature requirements, because he was the only really relevant quarterback that could sign cards manufactured by Panini. They probably sent even more stuff to him because of that. And it's expensive. Apparently, it's really expensive and extensive to have an auto pen created for your signature. And Dak Prescott's agent did this for him back in 2016. And Panini didn't even know about it. The auto pen generated the signature as basically like a stamp so well that the Panini wasn't even aware whenever Beckett caught it. Beckett actually caught it through their grading process, and they weren't even aware. Panini was shocked and dumbfounded. But this is exactly what has happened again here, but with Anthony Richardson. So I would just be hesitant. Make sure you're looking at those Anthony Richardson cards. Go and find a PSA Anthony Richardson auto that's been authenticated, and see if the one that you're thinking about buying looks like that. just to make sure. I mean,
yeah, if you look at the Prism autos, and I'm sure they're on a bunch of other ones for Dak, you can kind of tell if you really look at a few of them, because the signatures are identical. I mean, most signatures, or you can look at them and be like, I know whose signature that is. But I mean, there's maybe like a slight variation, or they personalize it or something. I mean, identical. Like you said, it's an auto pen. So there's not going to be any deviation from one auto to the next.
Yeah, I wonder if his rookie autos have lost value at all. Chris Ballard recently said in a press conference this week he was not going to rush Anthony Richardson back from injury after going through that with Andrew Luck and kind of seeing what eventually led to Andrew Luck's early retirement, getting beat up so much. He said he wasn't going to rush him back. So to me, that maybe makes me think that they're going to keep Gardner Minshew around, maybe give him a pretty decent 1-year deal or something, keep him around. Maybe he even starts the season. Anthony Richardson may even start on the PUP list. Who knows, man? I mean, I guess it's a pretty extensive shoulder injury, but this one even says auto question
I was
mark.
going to say that. New auto?
So, thing is, PSA could very well not catch the auto pin. I wouldn't be surprised if there's plenty of anti. So it may be best to find a CGC or a BGS Anthony Richardson graded and vetted auto, because the technology that CGC has, they have technology there that can tell if it's an auto pen or not. So yeah, and apparently BGS does too, but I don't know. PSA, they do a lot more volume, so it's a little bit harder to have the same quality oversight. And
I gotta say, I get that that's a short print, but I'm actually pretty surprised that those are still going for that much.
640.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. 431. That's honestly not bad when you think about the overall rookie auto market. Like, he's got a lot of upside. I know he left the rookie season injured, but and Brock Purdy's taken a dip recently. Brock Purdy he's taken about a 25 to 30% dip post Super Bowl, Steve. So
it was bound to happen, man. I mean, his success was baked into, the first, 4 or 5 games he had almost from the beginning. I mean, yeah, they did go up since then, but I mean, the entry price, there was never a friendly point in time where that was like, oh, that's a good price to buy that at,
Here we go. So yeah, Brock Purdy's around 901. So about twice as much here. 9 times higher than Kenny Pickett at 110. Do you believe that Kenny Pickett will be the starter next year for the Steelers? Because Arthur Smith came out and said, Kenny's our guy. We gotta get him locked in with the offense. I got to see him play. That to me just tells me they're gonna run the crap out of the ball next year. I am very bullish on Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren and any other running back the Steelers sign, because there's going to be so much running volume for the Steelers. It's insane.
Here's the thing. If you look into a lot of people's perspective on this, they'll tell you that, it was Matt Canada's fault. Sorry, man. I'm not buying it. He's just not good. And they may roll him out there for a game or two. I just don't see it. I mean, I don't know that there's been more than 1 or 2 games in his whole career so far that you look at and be like, yeah, I'd want that guy as my starting quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Especially after in 3 games, Mason Rudolph matched his stats for the season almost. You know what I'm saying? So you could say, okay, well, we'll roll him out there as a game manager. Can he even do that? We didn't see it. I didn't even see him game manage well. So I wouldn't touch it. And going back to the Anthony Richardson for, what was it, $500, $600, you could go right now and get a Jalen Hurts for $350. So that's my contrarian play there.
So I think we should hop into a draft here, Steve. But real quick before we do, a couple last little tidbits I want to share with you. Jordan Love is still dominating the buy now and best offer sold market. I wouldn't necessarily call it dominating, but I mean, he's beating out Anthony Richardson by 6. And I mean, we're talking 2nd-year rookies. So CJ Stroud at 117. Bryce Young has ticked up 127. I think the only reason why CJ's here at 117 is because of the price point. Everybody's got their CJ cards, very expensive, or they're sending them off to be graded, and they're in no rush to move them because he's been so good, right? And he is so hyped up. Whereas Bryce cards very cheap, finishing the season very cheap. Jordan Love, they're still cheap compared to Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. It's easy to see where you can get a Jordan Love card, at least to that of Jalen Hurts, so it's like maybe not to quite the level of Burrow and Herbert. Herbert is continued to stay pretty strong. And whenever I looked at his market, especially when you talk about his rookie ticket autos, those bounced right back. In fact, I've seen plenty of a situation where the Herbert is almost the same as the Burrow again, and just because of just because of Harbaugh, man.
And it's obviously just speculation, but I would think that they're probably the favorites to draft Mr. Brock Bowers. And you could only imagine what that would do as a security blanket for Herbert.
Oof. A lot of people speculating. Carter thinks the Bengals are going to draft Brock Bowers.
I don't know that he sticks around long enough. Maybe.
They may.
I think that they would like him for sure. I don't know if they'll have the chance to.
Yeah, I know a lot of people want him. I think he's going to go pretty early in the first. Just crazy athleticism. So, yeah, let me pull up Justin Herbert alongside Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, and
we were talking Pickett, Andy, and I was talking to some of the guys last night that there's some Fields rumors swirling around here right now that he's been dealt or is close to being dealt. It's still not official, but as of a week or two ago, the Steelers were considered a consensus top team to land him, and I think it's actually fluctuated back and forth now with Atlanta again, but they're definitely in the mix.
So check this out. Jalen Hurts current trend down 31% over the last 6 months, $65 for his base Prism PSA 10. Tua is at 50. Jordan Love's at 90. Herbert's at 120, almost 120, 117.04 to be exact. And he's up 20%.
154, man.
And Joey B still holding strong, just over 154. A little bounce back. So he really has not dipped over the past 6 months. So that's nice. I mean, that's good. Good for Joey. And I think people, especially, I think a lot of people think that the Bengals are automatically going to keep T. Higgins next year because he got franchise tagged, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to keep him.
True.
I think from listening to My Sports Update, Ari Mirov from PFF, there's a lot of teams that perceive that the Bengals could get a first-round pick for T. Higgins right now. They may not get a first-round pick for T. Higgins after next season. So that's a big trade. That's a big trade up. Would you trade T. Higgins for Brock Bowers? Would that be in the realm of possibilities? And would you want to do that? It would be good for T. Higgins' stock either way, because then he would be out of the shadow of Jamar Chase. And wherever he goes, he's going to step in as an alpha. He's going to steal a ton of targets.
Well, the reason that trade would be good for them is they're getting Bowers on a rookie contract versus the kind of money T. Higgins will command and the number of years he'll want. But the opposite side of that coin is allegedly Burrow took a little bit less money to ensure that they would have money to re-sign T. Higgins. Now, that's not from his own mouth. That's what I've read. So I guess we'll see. But I think they wouldn't be mad if they could get Brock Bowers if they had to part with T. Higgins.
So check it out. Looking at the rookie ticket auto data, you got Jordan Love up crazy amount on his rookie ticket autos over the past 6 months. And then you have pretty much all the other guys down. It's hard when you get to that high of dollar value, like for the Herbert and the Burrow. But you look at Burrow's, man, pretty much stayed strong around $4,000, 3,800 trend
Unbelievable.
Little dip in Herbert, but I mean, 2,500 is a pretty nice comeback, especially on a card this rare. There's only a population of 61 10s on this card. So, in fact, if you look at the 9s, let's see if we can. Yeah, there hasn't been a 9 by it now going back till November 22nd. So,
Interesting, though, that you could see that there's still so much growth potential in this card because the 52-week high is 5,300. Not like the 3 or 4 year high, like within the last year. So
yeah, I mean, even if you were buying it December 10th, and then by January 30th, you had a $2,800 buy it now, that's an increase of $700. Maybe not a huge percentage in what the card sells for, but yeah, it's decent monetary value. But you're right. Go back to before the season, you had a $3,900 auction. So, and that's about what that card was worth, before the season with Joe Burrow. Herbert's typically been neck and neck with Joe Burrow. So that tells me, though, that Jordan Love's got a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Love proved that he can ball out. I think if there's one quarterback I want to target this offseason that continues to sell, but he's continued to got room for upward growth, is Jordan Love, man.
And let's not pretend like the Eagles didn't start the season 10-2 before completely melting down. I mean, if that happens again, there'll obviously be some degree of hesitancy, but what that'll do for all those people that sold off on Hurts, they'll be looking to get back in. And if you've been holding on, well, maybe you lost a little bit, or maybe not if you bought in back in 2020 or 21. But I think Hurts and Tua are still great plays. Jordan Love, obviously, but Tua and Hurts, as of right now, are going to have less people competing with you to buy those.
That's it, man. Less people to compete against. That's always nice.
All right, where is this draft? Is it still all the way to the right side here?
Well, if you click on NFL on the homepage here, underdogfantasy.com, and you click on NFL, it'll take you to it. It's their big board. Guys, this is best ball. If you're brand new, don't know what it is, super easy. We're just going to draft a fantasy football team for 2024. The rookies don't have a landing spot yet, but it's okay. They automatically optimize your roster for you on a weekly basis. There's no waiver wire. There's no start sit. It's just draft a team, have fun. They score points. You get the most points for every position regardless. And it's a lot of fun because we get to see which players are being overvalued and undervalued in fantasy, which coincidentally has a ton of carryover, especially in the offseason, almost a direct carryover to whether or not they're being over or undervalued in the hobby. So
100%.
All right.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here finally. Are we going to do a click? Are we going to click enter now and then click it again on the content?
Yeah, so I'm going to leave it here on the yes confirm stream. Appreciate all you guys. Take this opportunity to smash that like button, if you will, for me. And I'm going to count down from 5. Nice. Late stick. Hitting the gym, man. Good man. Good man. I hit the gym this morning, but, that's kind of fits into my my routine. Shout out to empowermen.co. We actually have a special link for them. They keep me accountable, help me lose over 40 pounds of body fat now to this point, Steve, and add some muscle, get into the best shape of my life, brother. Empowermen.co. We've got a special link for them as well. We also have a promo code for Underdog. It's promo code QUEST. Gets you 100% instant deposit bonus. And I'm going to count down from 5, Steve, and we'll hop in.
Okay. Let me know. Say go on the last one.
I'll say go, and then I'll click when I say go.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Cool. So this should be easy for you guys to get into this draft with us.
Waiting on 8. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of perks to drafting this early. This being one of the main ones when you're trying to get people in on a live together. when the closer you get to the season, these will fill up in a matter of seconds. Derek, where you at? You in here, buddy? Steelers, you getting in here?
6 spots left.
Who else is still around? Filthy
5.
Swamp Donkey.
This is the hardcore.
Carter's in. Let's go.
Man, let's go. The reigning 8th place finisher from the Chihuahua Superflex last year, Power Hour NFL. Filthy's in. Oh yeah. Where are Bush and Messiah to pay the rake?
Two more spots.
Let's
see. Does it look like we haven't done one of these for a couple of weeks, but it looks like about the same as far as the top 8-10 guys from last time we did this. You know what I love, Andy? There's guys that we got a lot of scrutiny for, but we got Amon Ra as the 7.1 ADP.
Mm-hmm.
Puka Nacua 9.3. Nico Collins 16.2. Devon A-Chain, one of the guys you were in early on, 17. Yeah, I mean we could keep going. Tank Dell 27. It's beautiful, man. It's great when these guys pan out that that we speculate on early, you know.
It's a beautiful thing.
Carter got a badge. All right.
Get out of here. They gave you a badge?
That's freaking hilarious, bro. You spoke that into existence, man.
So who do we got in here? We got Dominic, Bradswan, DBO68, Derek, got Carter the Power, a Buckaloo, T. Jensen, Scaldesi the Hitman, Filthy, Balab, myself at the 10, E. Walling 84, Burgundy Bets, and
a lot of
a lot of badge bros in here.
Badges in here. We'll definitely have a feeling we'll have some more to add to the collection after this year.
Tyreek. Did you hear that there was some lady who was pressing charges against Tyreek for, I guess, breaking her leg? I guess he tackled her at some kind of drills.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly. Who knows that guy? He's always getting his stuff. I also saw a thing where his house was on fire.
Yeah.
And I think that was real. I don't know what happened. There was just like a random hole burned in the middle of his giant mansion. Tyreek's
somebody was supposedly playing with matches or something stupid like that. I have a feeling that is not true in any way, shape, or form. But just like whatever the story is about him and that woman seems a bit far-fetched.
Whoa, Amon Ra, the number 7. It still is shocking. I mean, I believe he deserves to go there, but it's still surprising to me to see. Look, two Lions players
for sure.
2 Lions players in the first round. That is sick. Well, you guys put me on it. You guys put me on the spot here. I mean, I got to go back to AJ Brown here. I'm going to go with the talents. I'm going with the talent. To me, between Puka, Garrett Wilson, and AJ Brown is a superior talent. Okay, Steve. Separation. This guy is a monster. AJ Brown is just an absolute phenom. And I think you had a lot of issues from the just Jalen Hurts dealing with injuries, and then you also had a coordinator issue going on with the Eagles this past year, and the offense just got stale, man. Thank you, Filthy. I got you, bro.
There's definitely a drop off for sure. It looks like he'll be back, and I'm assuming his normal role with the team this year. So, but
I'm chasing talent again.
I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't have taken Puka, man. I would have taken Puka.
I might be crazy not to go Nico there because that Bobby Slowick offense with CJ Stroud and Nico is just sick. But I'm chasing the talent again. DJ Moore has been just an absolute beast since his rookie year. He's always been a beast, no matter who the quarterback is. Justin Fields was only really good as a passer last year when he was throwing to DJ Moore. Think about it. I mean, the games that we saw from DJ Moore when Fields was throwing to Moore was just no. And there's no target competition in Chicago. I mean, there's none.
I'm gonna do something here. I got faith. This is an early flag plant for me, Andy.
So I love Nico, but DJ Moore is more talented, and because of that, I'm going more. But at the same time,
when you say talented, you mean electric, because I wouldn't say he's more talented. He is more electric.
He's more electric. Like he's got more experience. He's a better wide receiver at the singular level. Like if put DJ Moore on the Texans, and he's going off for 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns.
You know what? It's terrifying when you think about it. What he could do with a all-star or Pro Bowl type QB. I mean, yeah, he had some long connects with Fields, and he had a good fantasy season. But could you imagine in like a pass-first, efficient QB ran offense, the capability he has of having a, career type season, like a memorable NFL by all fans, not just fantasy fans or Bear fans or Panther fans. Like people would know who this man is if he had a real quarterback throwing the ball.
Yeah, I'm saying. And so Gabe makes a good point here. Just wait till DJ gets Caleb Williams. Whew, buddy.
That is now more than ever. That seems like it is what's going to happen.
How much does Mike Evans sell for? 115.
Got some pretty nice centering, maybe slightly to the left, but
pretty good, impressive for a veteran. I hate these brown uniforms too of the Bucks. The brown. I don't know. I guess it's kind of it's like just a brown. Like
they need a whole season with the old uniforms, Andy. I think. Yeah,
man. Yeah, but I wanted to see something real quick about DJ Moore. So that's a good question. Let me see what that was 2023 Prism DJ Moore gold. I wonder if they have any. If you got,
let's see,
draft picks. Let's see if they have any. Maybe 2022. No pro uniform. That sucks.
All right, you know what? I was committed to him last year. I'm going to stay on the same train here. I think he was one of my most drafted guys last year, and for the price you could get him at last year, he was going late. I think everyone anticipated a major fadeaway, and that just didn't happen.
Who'd you draft?
Mike Evans.
Oh, nice. That's bold, man. Yeah, I mean he was undervalued like crazy last year. Let me get back onto the board real quick before I get auto picked. So Mike Evans going in the third. Yeah, he was going in the fifth. Well, Baker Mayfield wasn't even a guaranteed starter heading into last season.
For sure.
Devonta Smith. All right, so I've gone wide receiver. Ooh, I can get my little exposure here to the Texans and Tank Dell, or I can go Sam Laporta with the Lions. Kind of liking both of these options here. I'm gonna go Laporta only because I got 2 wide receivers already.
Not a bad pick, man. Honestly, I would have taken him for sure, but I don't want to split my early picks with same team type guys.
Carter wants to hop in the stream. All right, let me hold on a second. Let me see.
He sent me a sweet game used Jarvis Landry earlier on eBay, and beautiful card, man. But those game used with the nice dirt stain on them, those are forever expensive.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, man. I felt so bad. He got outbid on that thing.
All right, let's see. I'm coming up in a few picks here. Oh, Andy, you're next.
Uh-oh. Good looking out, Steve.
Got you, man. Yeah, filthy for sure. You know, I talked about going back for a hot minute now about the relevancy of the tight end position, and you could see that there's a lot more guys to choose from than there used to be.
Man. I think I got to go T. Higgins here.
Your boy Lamar's there, man. You don't want Lamar?
I think that there's so much value at the quarterback position. I mean, look at this. Look at this. There's so much value at the quarterback. Justin Herbert is way down here. Kyler Murray, like Caleb Williams. I mean, and I'll go with like a pocket passer that I know is going to get a ton of volume, like Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, because they get a ton of volume. It'll make up for the fact they don't run. Let me see. Did I email that link? I thought I did.
I'm getting scolded by Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Gabe. I'll draft you.
No auto picks yet. But I was wanting to see what Trey. Oh, I see who you were eyeballing, Filthy. Filthy snagged him Trey McBride at 41. The key is to distract.
Yeah.
You guys know me too well.
Sadly, that's who I was sitting on too, but Filthy took me a round earlier than ADP, so gotta re-game plan here. You know, it's the thing is all of us know who each other likes and buys and drafts. So it's a lot easier to snipe people because you know who they're probably going to take, you know. Oh, Filthy for sure, man. You know that's been my guy, man. I was early on the McBride train. Yeah, that's a hell of a pick there, man. He's got top tight end capability for sure.
I'm super interested to see what the Cardinals do this offseason. I mean, they got early first round draft capital. Obviously, I think they're stuck with Kyler Murray, or I think they have confidence in Kyler Murray. But Marquise Brown, man, hitting free agency. Does he stay or does he go? They draft a wide receiver. A lot of people rumoring the drafting of Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals.
Yeah,
that's been a routine mock spot for Marvin Harrison, and then Trey McBride. I mean, I think at this point, isn't Zach Ertz he's done, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's got to be the year for Trey McBride in Arizona.
Zach Ertz signed with one of the playoff teams. I can't remember who it was this past year. They cut him. Let's see who that was. Detroit.
Wow.
Oh.
So he's on Detroit's roster now.
He was signed by Detroit. It might have just been like I don't know
As
if
a
it's
backup?
1 year or if it was just like they were just going to keep him for the playoffs. I don't know the whole contract stitch.
Yeah, it's tough to follow all their contracts. So this is an interesting one right here in Jaden Reed with the Green Bay Packers. Because somebody on one of these wide receivers on the Packers is going to go off, man. They have a average to below average defense, and Jordan Love balled the freak out. Was not afraid to push the ball down the field. I really like Jaden Reed. I also like Christian Watson, but that guy's got some kind of jacked up hamstrings that
He's seeing a specialist about that.
Seeing a specialist about his hamstrings.
Yeah.
Carter, what's going on with Christian Watson's hamstrings?
Well, you bring him up when our fantasy dynasty championship, we had that fight on here about DJ Moore versus Christian Watson, and you were right. So I apologize to you for about that, Andy.
Yeah, he looked really good finishing out the previous year with all those touchdowns, but the health is a stat in its own way. I mean, if you can't stay on the field, you have no value, you know.
Oh man, I'm going with the super zero RB build here. Getting very weird.
Oh, Josh Allen, nice.
Well, I got sniped for the Stephon Diggs has been falling in some of these. Let's see, who's Andy picking here?
I'm going King Henry.
Nice.
You went zero RB too. I see you.
I did, but I mean, when you get Derrick Henry, I know he's 30, but that doesn't bother me, man. This guy is still trucking out there. And you get him at pick 58 on a new team, put him behind a good offensive line. I mean, the Titans' offensive line was so bad last year, and he still put up like the second most rushing yards in the league.
I agree. Yeah, he's not one of those guys that you could see slowing down quite yet. You know, the age thing applies, but there's obviously outliers, and he's definitely an outlier.
Did you guys see him just crushing people at dodgeball on the pro day? I mean,
No.
I mean, that just shows you right there. You got to draft Derrick Henry in the fifth if he's there. Look, there's a little run on running backs right there. Ooh, now this is a tough pick. Oh, dude, I got to do it. This is too juicy. Too juicy.
I was hoping he was going to fall to me.
One stays, one goes. I got them both. Tennessee Titans running backs.
Wasn't Richardson getting drafted earlier than this last year? I think he was.
AR?
No, he was in the hundreds the entire time.
Was he?
Yeah, the entire time.
Yeah, he was. I think he was.
He was on that team that won me 4K last year.
Nice.
People weren't sure if he was actually going to start the season. Remember, there was a lot of speculation on who was going to actually start the season because I think Chris Ballard was talking like they wanted to ease him into it. What's interesting though, Carter, what's going on with this Josh Allen pick in the second?
Well, I was going to stack him and Diggs for an AFC East stack too.
Oh, so you were hoping that Diggs was going to fall to 28. I see.
Andy, what did you do? Somebody just took Kyler Murray.
That early?
Yeah. T. Jensen. Yeah.
He goes and talks up Arizona drafting a receiver, and then boom.
Dang.
Kyler Murray.
I really like your running back picks, though, Caladesi. David Montgomery at 66. That's money. Ramondre Stevenson? No, you didn't get burned enough by him last year?
I have zero of him this year. So this draft, I'm just getting some exposure to. So I've done a lot of drafts.
We're only
He's
in
gonna,
March.
we're
We're not even into March yet.
This is the first time I've done Ramadre. First time I've drafted Rome. First time I've drafted Waddle, and just widening my exposures here just a little bit.
I'd say.
But yeah, it's I'm ready to get weird, man. That's what it's all about.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, no more Zeke Elliott, right, for the Patriots. So
yeah, and it's got to get better, right?
It's
In New
gotta get
England.
better.
I mean, especially if New England goes Drake May instead of Jaden. It just depends on what Washington does it too. So, not a huge Ramadre guy, but I'm down. Okay, good. Whoever this was that sniped my Dalton Kincaid stack, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the second time that guy sniped you, man.
Yeah, he's destroying me on these Buffalo picks, and he has a naked Buffalo room there. What am I doing here?
You know what though, man? Josh Allen's one of those QBs you can draft naked because he runs the ball so much.
No, I didn't want to do that. Damn it, I messed up. Did not want to draft. Yeah, no. I meant to click Brock Bowers, but I clicked Nick Chubb on accident.
It's amazing how far.
Even if he's a fraction as good as he used to be, you probably won't regret that pick.
Ooh, Najee Harris. Najee Harris is a steal there at 78.
I probably will regret that one. But it's all good though.
I'm not sure Chubb's ever going to be the same, man. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean he's probably cooked. But once again, I've not drafted Nick Chubb once. I've probably done, 13. I've not drafted Chubb once. I've not drafted Ramadre once. I've not drafted a Dunzi once. So I'm really hating this team. I
like the Najee pick there.
That's not an easy spot to draft in. Number 4, not easy. All right.
Let's see. We've got an Eckler sighting.
Oh, Joey B's up. Joey B's up.
Oh, well, yeah. That's money in the bank.
His ADP is 71. I'm at pick. I don't know what pick I'm, but I think I'm right here at his ADP too.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, pick 82.
How do you not?
God,
how do you not?
I'm loving Andy's draft right now.
I'm loving this, man.
Let's see.
That's because I'm not drafting behind Derek, Carter, Steve, Filthy. I got a little gap between me and you guys.
Justin Fields, tight end run.
Goku. I got Laporta, so I gotta see. Go with Mixon. That's an interesting one. It's kind of like complete.
That's a major value at this point in the draft.
That's super tempting. I mean, he's right here on top, so it's like Kyle Pitts is also interesting in Atlanta. I'll take Mixon. I think Mixon stays on Cincinnati with some kind of super cheap deal. I mean, where's Mixon really going to go? He's kind of a troublemaker too. So it's like he's already settled in there with Cincinnati. He's only really got like a year or two left,
Yeah, there's some people that think that he could get cut, but I don't see it unless they draft somebody. All right.
Ooh,
My
they
early
made that.
prediction for QB tight end combination of the season: Herbert to Bowers.
Mm.
I mean, the Chargers going to take him at 5?
I think that's who they're going for.
Really?
Harbaugh and the tight end, man. That's what gets them going, man.
Security blanket. They do need receivers too, so it'd be dual purpose. They need blockers,
They
receivers.
can't afford to keep Mike Williams.
He stinks, man. He's toast, dude. He's had way too many injuries. You know what? They could cut Mike Williams, sign DJ Chark for $1 million, and get the same level of production.
Could you imagine like Calvin Ridley on that team, or a set of fresh legs out there next to Keenan Allen? Danger,
Ooh.
man. Danger.
Filthy's calling Malik Neighbors to the Chargers.
Jeez, dude, that's even more terrifying. That'd be nice.
The tough thing is we're doing all these drafts and we don't even know the schedule yet.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
But-
It makes it that much more fun. Deontay, one of my faves.
Why? Oh yeah, that's right. He doesn't really have a quarterback throwing the ball, and they're probably gonna run the ball like 65-70% of the time.
Yeah.
He should still get there through targets, though. I mean, this is a PPR or half point PPR, so I think Deontay's still undervalued in fantasy land.
Yeah, I hope that if they inevitably decide to just become run heavy, just trade him, please. He's got a couple prime years left. Just please trade him to someone that wants to throw him the ball.
Has George Pickens? I wonder if George Pickens' rookie cards have come down.
I'm sure they had to.
He's definitely come down a lot in fantasy value.
Oh, Jensen, you mofo. All right, hold on. I gotta rethink my pick here.
Yeah, they've come down a lot. I mean,
I think that's the first hard snipe that I had. Somebody got me on one today. This would be not a bad tight end too to have. Let's go, man.
nice.
If he was not having off-season surgery, his ADP would be exponentially higher.
Yeah.
No. He's going to be on every team I take.
100% exposure.
You know, I had him lined up in all the ones we've done on the live stream, and a few I did after the live stream with Derek, and he got taken in every single one when I was trying to get him. So I think this is the first one I have him in this year.
All right, Balab, what you doing?
I think it's not
Ooh.
real reporting, but did you see the speculative Justin Jefferson to the Chiefs trade rumor?
Yeah, I did see that. There was there's a tweet from Ari Mirov at PFF from PFF that said that wide receivers are going to make a serious splash in free agency this year when the league year starts on March 13th, I believe it is. He thinks that wide receivers, there's going to be some blockbuster wide receiver moves that happen. And Justin Jefferson was one of those speculations.
It makes sense. I mean, generational guy, you can still get him in his prime. Pay out the you know what to get him now and keep him on your team. I would be kind of upset if he went of all teams to a team that's already won that many Super Bowls.
Do you know how upset J Jet's cards would be, Carter? I mean, that guy's got the most insane Justin Jefferson collection ever. But he's a Vikings fan. He was a Vikings fan first, and then he started to PC.
And that's the downside if you're an NFL fan collecting cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're getting a franchise quarterback, he's never really just going to stay with that team for forever. And obviously, if you're the Vikings, you're Andy, that's your build is getting sexy, bro.
You like that kid?
He's been putting in work in the gym.
Dude, I want to make love to this build. Dude,
Let's go.
This just, I think DeAndre Swift still has juice. But I'm going to stay quiet because there's a few people in this draft that might snipe me here. And if it's, I better not get sniped here. I swear if I get sniped, I will punch a hole in this computer. And it's a new computer.
Somebody grabbed Sir Jared Goff, man. Nice.
Jaden Daniels. Who would ever draft that guy?
No idea.
Undervalued.
Dude.
So I had a guy reach out to me, member. His name was Landon. Yeah, Landon. Landon reached out to me. He bought a couple Jaden Daniels Onyx rookie autos.
Okay.
And he was thinking about sending them to PSA. But I was like, I think Jaden's going to make a splash. He's going to get drafted a lot higher than people think.
Okay, Andy, I see you.
Yeah, I think he's going to go top 5. So I was like, I'd have those listed ready to go because once he gets drafted top 5, they're going to be releasing draft night instants. They're going to be pumping out so many cards for Jaden that those Onyx ones they're going to spike like crazy, but then they'll lose value eventually. So I told him I wouldn't send those in for grading now. I would just, I mean, you might be able to, I guess if you use like the express level or something, get them back before the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise what's the turnaround right now? Probably 45 to 90 days.
Well, with PSA,
right.
You get a lot quicker with CGC cards, though.
A
lot quicker.
CGC. You're talking about the sponsor of this channel, NoOffSeason.com? Let's go.
That's right, baby.
Sounds like a novel idea, Andy. All right. What's coming back around here? Zach Charbonnet.
I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab a water.
Yeah, good idea. Actually, I have one right behind me. Or I did. Oh, it's right here. Keon Coleman. I like the Shakir pick, Carter. I like that.
Yeah, I got my Josh Allen stack. Tua stack.
He's got a lot of vacated targets to fill. And actually down the line, he looked pretty good, realistically.
I also think they're going to look at Keon Coleman at the Bills. I think Keon Coleman's going to be in that range, and they're going to want a pure outside receiver. So I think the Bills could get him, and then I'll have both of my quarterbacks double stacked. Plus, I didn't really like any of the running backs in that range, so might as well roll the dice.
Sweet. Like it.
Interesting. So you think Gabe Davis walks in free agency?
Yeah, I don't think.
Someone's going to be willing to pay him.
Yeah, and I just think that ship has sailed. Especially if they know that they can get a good into first round wide receiver. Let's see, who's Andy picking right here?
I'm going with your boy Wicks.
I love Wicks. I do. I've been fading Jaden Reed, fading Christian Watson. I still like Romeo Dobbs next year. I think Dobbs
Yeah.
and Wicks will be the two top guys. Could be
Dobbs
wrong though. I mean, Reed and Watson are both ahead of them, and
Dobbs
ADP.
really bounced back, man. And you don't
he's
see that a lot
solid,
with
man.
these young guys. Usually once they bottom out, it's very rarely that they balloon back up to prominence, but he did as the season went on.
He's good for a spike week. I think Wicks has got the spike weeks too. Christian Watson's like hardly ever plays. That's the thing. Problem with him. He's great, but he just can't get those hamstrings right.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and I don't know that that's something that a specialist can fix.
Oh, I'm on the clock. Who's this Adonai Mitchell, Carter?
Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with him, but where he's falling on a lot of draft boards, he'll be going into a good offense.
I don't know. Or Lad McConkey?
I like Ladd.
I drafted Lad.
Yeah, I love your team, man. I really do love your team. I'm serious.
I gotta get up to speed with some of these late round rookies, man. Oh, Lad went to Georgia.
Yeah, you got to think a lot of target competition there. Wherever he goes in the NFL, he will have less target and volume competition than he had at Georgia. I'm not saying that Georgia has better receivers than in the NFL, but Georgia legit had 12 receiving options every single game. And he had a lot of injuries this past year. So
Yeah, he only put up 500 yards, 9 games. He only played 9 games. 2 touchdowns. But deep threat, 16 yards per reception. He's a white boy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a couple in the draft this year. McCaffrey's brother is in there. He's not projected to go too high though.
Luke McCaffrey?
Oh, I can't remember what his brother.
Who else is there's somebody? Well, I know Marvin Harrison Jr., but there's somebody else's son or brother that was in this draft class. I can't
Frank
remember.
Gore.
That's right, Frank Gore.
He's a littler version, but he's tough, man. Frank Gore was a dense human being. His son is kind of small, not like Deuce Vaughn small, but
You got to draft a Gore, man.
I did actually take him in one of the ones I did.
He went to Southern Miss. He did okay.
It's not a high probability, but we've seen smaller running backs do well in some circumstances. Work done.
Yeah, man.
The
he put
muscle
up
hamster.
13,
The muscle
13
hamster. I mean, even Dameon Pierce, before they ran him into the ground in one year, was great.
Jaleel McLaughlin, Denver. Didn't he Jaleel, he set some kind of college record, didn't he?
which is what?
Jaleel McLaughlin. I forget what it was, but he set some kind of record in college.
I have no idea.
No, maybe that wasn't him. I gotta look now.
Estime.
Love me some Audric Estime.
He's a climber. He's climbing on draft boards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I started looking into him a lot after you guys were telling me about him the other week. Yeah, he's a baller.
I was actually going to take Bucky Irving, but But yeah, I like a lot of the rookie running backs in this range. I was going to take. I just had no McLaughlin, so I'm just chalking this draft up to the guys I don't have a whole lot of. Because as Derek told me, exposures are important. Like last year, the only Best Ball Mania team I drafted a lot of guys that I didn't have exposure on, and that team advanced, right? It was like DeAndre Hopkins. Who else in that draft? I don't remember. Filthy said he just got a. What is Filthy's name on here?
Filthy Collector.
Oh, I got Demario Douglas. I like that pick, man. And if Jaden goes to the New England Patriots, you get a stack there. I like that. That's nice. And you got the Nico stack going. Man, Filthy's. We got some sharp people in here. Got a RB1 at 1.8. I like your build so far. I don't like Cooper Kupp. I hate that spot for Cooper Kupp. But other than that, dude, I like this draft. What do y'all think about Chris Godwin next year?
Love him.
Love it. He's going back to the slot. Ooh, Patty Frymuth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be real interesting to see what happens with Mike Evans. I think that's going to impact. But Chris Godwin's, he's going to be good for about 100 targets. You know,
He's not old either. I mean, I know a lot of people think
No,
that
he's in his
he's
prime.
what, 26?
No, he's like 28.
Is he?
But yeah,
Oh, he's 28. Well, that's still not that old.
but he could put up 131. Oh snap! I'm about almost got auto picked.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Got Zach Moss.
I got auto pick Zach Moss, but at least I didn't get Aaron Rodgers. I definitely didn't need a quarterback.
That's true. That's true.
So that was a half auto pick, guys, not a true auto pick.
Feeling torn here.
Okay, so they moved Chris Godwin out wide pretty often last year.
Filthy, no. Oh,
But look at that, man. Chris Godwin route win rate, number 2 amongst wide receivers. Number 2 win rate versus man. That's really good. EPA number 10 amongst wide receivers.
I thought for sure I had Palmer almost a half a round early. It's true, man. It's true. You unstacked my stack. Algier. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Love me some Tyler Algier.
Same.
I just do. I mean, he's just solid. Bijan
He
goes
runs
down
so hard, man. He runs so hard. We got a Deshaun Watson sighting.
Okay, there you go. Jaleel McLaughlin was the. I just got to look this up. This is going back to his sophomore year when he played for Notre Dame, and he led all the NCAA in that category, while also leading Division II with 2,699 all-purpose yards. McLaughlin was named a first-team All-American, the first true freshman ever to win the honor for Notre Dame, and placed third in voting for the Harlan Hill Trophy as a top Division II player. That was his freshman year.
Let's go, Jaleel.
So this guy was a baller, man. Look at his his athleticism is
God dog it. Derek, dude, I freaking hate Derek so much. Please go jump into an erupting volcano full of electric eel. I'm
He was
asking
talking
him
about him in the
nicely.
chat earlier too.
Dude, God. I really hope you fall into an erupting volcano full of electric eels.
He's been talking about Jatavion Sanders though in almost
God.
every live stream.
Dude, why do that to me? Like, it wasn't even, we're supposed to be buddies. I hate Derek so much, dude. He already has a tight end. I still have no tight ends. What I do now?
Yeah, Michael Mayer. That's his third tight end. Mark Andrews.
That's what I'm
Mayer.
saying.
Oh,
That's what I thought. That's what I thought for sure he was going to take Sanders.
Straight up snipe.
God. That's why I was like, I know he likes Sanders, and I was like, okay. I was deciding between Sanders and Algier, and I was like, he's not going to take another tight end because he's already got 2 tight ends. God, dude, that pisses me off so much. It really does.
5-star recruit.
And
Excellent.
he wanted Leggett. So Brad Swan, I hope you fall into an erupting volcano full of electric eels. Because my team sucks. Davion Sanders was supposed to put me over the hump here.
Sometimes you got to pay the rake, man. Oh.
And sometimes you got to overpay to get your guy, too. I just found that out with Josh Palmer.
Treylon Burks almost at the 200?
Ooh, likely. Burgundy Bets says on the sandwich pick, let's see where they're going. Right. The Gus bus. The Gus bus is out of commission. I think did he not get re-signed?
I'm going to go for a little reach here, but I really like this cat, A.T. Perry, man. And I think Rashid Shaheed is expected to hit free agency. And so I think
Really?
A.T. Perry A.T. Perry was really good with limited games and limited targets last year as a rookie. He's actually a really fun sleeper guy that I'm after in the card market too.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about Shaheed, but not to say that it's not true. I didn't read anything.
Yeah, check on Shaheed's. Cause I'm pretty sure he's hitting free agency. The A.T. Perry's got size, speed.
I will say this, and the Saints offense as a whole finally started gelling a little too late last year. So I think that's going to be a team to be a little concerned about if you're in that division. Gibbs.
Ooh, my team sucks. And I'm okay with that because I'm here to just have a good time.
Yeah, man.
Conklin, if Rodgers stays healthy, is not bad.
Target hog, baby.
Do we think they'll cut Kamara? I've heard that there's at least a chance. I think more than likely they just scale his role back to more of a receiver than a runner. His running last year as the season went on was brutal, and I think that they give what was that dude's name that was a rookie last year?
Kendra Miller.
Yeah. He'll probably take over most of the early down runs. I think at least after a couple weeks. Nice. Yeah, he's on no one's radar. It's the perfect time to get him.
Final four.
Andy, where do you stand on Trey Palmer?
I love Trey Palmer, man. He's super fast, and he got a lot of playing time as a rookie. And Baker Mayfield actually targeted him deep on quite a few occasions. So he's got that spike game potential. And if Mike Evans walks and goes to a new team, then
God damn it.
Trey Palmer's going up and stuff. What
Oh,
happened?
man. No, I took Derek Carr on accident.
Oh.
Oh, no, I hated that. I really wasn't trying to take Derek Carr there. I was going with the 2 QB build. God. God. Oh, well.
You'll be all right.
How'd you draft Derek Carr if you didn't want him? You ran out of time and you had him start up?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I was trying to draft Jalen Hyatt, actually.
I'll draft him for you. Don't worry.
Oh, nice checkerboard of Miller.
I've been doing too many 3 quarterback builds, and I haven't done a 2 QB one yet.
I was just about to ask you. You think this format's optimal to have 3?
Not if you draft 2 quarterbacks in the top 100 like I did.
Why do I feel like there's extra rounds in this draft?
No, there is. There's 2 extra ones.
There's 20 rounds.
Yeah.
20.
You think they're going to do that for Best Ball Mania this year?
I don't know. But I have way too much Derek Carr.
I love it. Hey, man, if he picks it up the way he finished the season, I actually was thinking about him as my 3rd QB and had to reroute after you grabbed him.
Now you guys talk about 3 quarterbacks. I took a 3rd one too.
Yeah, normally in a 20 rounder, I'll do. Well, this is my first year doing 20 rounders because I've only done Underdog Best Ball.
Carter, you asked me if I thought that that the Chargers will take Bowers, but they don't have a tight end. I mean, they have, what is his name? Darnell Parham. He's like the only guy on the roster. I don't see.
Did they already release Gerald Everett?
I think so. Or they just said they're not re-signing him. Let me see.
Filthy's got 10 wide receivers. He took Jalen Hyatt.
He did. He sniped it. Sniped me, man.
Filthy on 10 wide receivers.
Oh, he enters the season as an unrestricted free agent. I don't think they bring him back.
Does Davis Allen actually suck? I've drafted a decent amount of Davis Allen because I just punt on tight end on too many drafts.
No, he's filling in for Tyler Higbee, and he actually had some good games towards the end of the season. I've taken him on all the teams I have Stafford on. I like that pick, actually.
Yeah, why do I feel like I've heard him talked about in the Dynasty Stash column? He's got a really high burst score. Pretty solid rank in his class. Put up a touchdown.
My God, Javon Baker just got taken. I like Javon Baker.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about who's that other wide receiver that's projected to go in the first round from you guys from LSU? Brian Thomas?
BTJ?
Yeah, BTJ.
BTJ's a beast.
Who is he comparable to? Like in terms of like his style?
Like really, really, really. He's a really, really long player. I've actually not done an NFL comp to him. Who would he? Oh, you remember Martavis Bryant?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same yak ability as him, but that's who he kind of reminds me of. Keyword kind of.
So kind of like Christian Watson?
Yeah, if Christian Watson could stay healthy.
I've read some people say he's propped up by his quarterback. Do you think that's true?
Oh, there's definitely some truth to that.
Dang, Brian Thomas, 6'5", 198.
Yeah, and he's tough to bring down. He's not really a violent runner after the catch, but he falls forward a lot. So, yeah, I mean, I like him.
Nice. Bro, he put up 17 touchdowns for you guys last year? Holy crap. Was he the leader in touchdowns on LSU?
Yeah. Let's see.
Dang.
I've taken a lot of Noah Fant. Seattle has new OC in Washington. Their offense last year really, like, the most underrated thing about the Washington offense was how many times they schemed up such easy stuff for their tight ends. So I've taken a decent amount of Noah Fant. I don't know if he's going to stay with Seattle, but I think Noah Fant could be like a David Njoku type of later breakout. He's an Iowa tight end with decent athleticism. So I've drafted a good bit of them. And the tight end I've also selected a lot of is Greg Dulcich. I love Greg Dulcich as a late round flyer.
Yeah, he was way more valuable last year heading into the season.
He just got hurt. That's all there's to it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg Dulcich would be about where Cole Kmet is in this draft if he wasn't banged up. Madison getting released?
Yeah, Madison released. Let me go with some Noah Brown here. He's solid.
Did you guys see they picked up Trey Lance's option? Summer roster bonus.
So he's still holding the clipboard.
He is.
He's got a job.
And now he's doing it for $4.25 million.
Crazy.
They're saying they think that Cooper Rush will get cut now, which would make sense.
I mean, Cooper Rush wasn't bad when he had a start.
In 25 career games, Kenny Pickett has 4,000 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. But Omar Khan has full faith in Kenny Pickett when speaking at the NFL scouting combine. So either they don't understand how football works, or they're lying. One of the two.
That was a fun draft, man.
I love these, man. This is my favorite part of the off season.
Excuse me. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, Carter.
Slightly.
Slightly?
Yeah, you can still hear some congestion mixed in here.
Yeah. And this fantasy team you drafted sucks so bad. I'm sure that doesn't help.
It really does. This team really did suck. And
Yeah, but that's what you say, and then you win, and then it's like, yeah, I meant to do that. I knew what I was doing the whole time.
This one's not winning, Steve.
No?
Sorry. This one's
No.
not winning. No.
no, not this one.
Let me see. Let me pull up your team here.
Take an extra.
I think you'll probably need estimate to hit at running back, but your receivers are fine. Tight ends are me.
Probably should have taken another receiver there, but oh well. Haven't done a 3-7-7-3. But the Derek Carr pick screwed me up. I wanted to do a 3-7-8-3 or 2-7-8-3. But oh well.
Nice draft, boys. Well, it is it's my bedtime.
All right, fellas.
Man, it was a good time. I can't wait to do another one next week, and maybe we'll have a shakeup with a couple trades and or free agent rumors. I'm sure we did or will.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody out there. Peace.
Good night, peace.
You guys. I'm so tired. I can't even find the outro. Can't figure out how to get out of here. All right, y'all.
Just click it,
Try this
Andy.
again. Have a good night. We'll see you very soon on the quest. Peace.